in the bus, getting it all prepped and ready for spray foam. I know a lot of people don't choose to do spray foam, but we wanted to do it because it has a lot higher R value, and we're gonna probably be in Michigan during some winters and it's gonna be freezing, and in California in the summertime sometimes. So we wanna have a well-insulated bus. First attempt at spray painting a window. Basically what we're doing is we're spray painting the parts of the window on this side that are gonna be on our kitchen, that is gonna be below, well, our counter line is gonna come to about here. We figured we'll do a little bit of backsplash and then we'll have an upper window which we can open up. But since this lower part here is all gonna be kind of, all this is gonna be insulation, so that you can't see the insulation from the outside, I'm just gonna spray paint it black. We're gonna insulate and build over it so it still looks pretty and good from the outside, and it still looks like a Skoolie window. So let's try this out. Looks good. So I just want to talk for a minute about our decision about how we're going to insulate the inside of our bus and why we decided not to do the typical window deletes. If you follow the Skoolie community at all, most people that insulate the inside of their Skoolie, wherever they don't want the window, they do what's called a window delete. And that includes taking the complete window frame out, and a lot of people put kind of a sheet of metal on the outside here. And depending on the person, sometimes it's riveted in, a lot of the times it's welded in. I think if you weld it in, that secures it a little more against possible water damage. But we didn't want to do that. We really like how all the windows look on the outside of our bus. So we kind of wanted to keep that aesthetic on the outside. And even though on the inside, some of our windows will be covered up, like for our bedroom in the back and our bathroom, and the lower parts of the windows in the kitchen will be insulated and covered up. You know, we still wanted it to look nice, like windows on the outside. So that's why we decided that we don't want to do the window delete. And although we haven't seen a lot of people do it the way we're going to do it, like I showed you before, we are just blacking out the parts of the window that we're going to insulate over so that it looks nice from the outside still. And then we're spray foaming the inside of the bus. So spray foam is essentially going to go directly onto the window on the inside, which you won't see from the outside, and then we're gonna build out from there. So those are a couple of reasons we decided not to do the window deletes, and personally we think it's gonna be easier the way we're doing it, but I guess we'll find out. This may be more work than we need to do, but before we start spray foaming and insulating everything, we want to take a few extra steps to make sure that our windows that we're patching up aren't going to leak at all. So we're going to use the Rust-Oleum leak seal, and what I'm going to do is just kind of go around all the windows, go around like this full window we're boxing in, because this is going to be our bathroom area. And I'm just going to spray all around the windows. This is a great leak seal. Right now we have no leaks in the bus, but especially since these are all the areas that we're going to be covering up, we want to make sure 1000% that water is never going to come through here. One more step to prep our windows before we can spray foam, the spray foam insulation over the windows. So first off, I blacked them out with spray paint. We did a rubber seal around them to make sure they wouldn't leak, and now I'm going to just put some tape over the windows. From what we were seeing, people who have done this before, if you spray foam directly onto the spray paint on the windows, it's going to have a chemical reaction, and this is eventually going to fade away, and you're just going to see all kind of like the spray foam marks from the outside, which we don't want to see. You're just going to simply put some tape over it. That way it'll stop the chemical reaction, and from the outside it'll still just look like a nice blacked out bus window. If we were to do this again, I think I would definitely just get those little kind of sheets that people were talking about. It's like a sticky sheet that you put on the window that helps black it out, instead of having to do step by step by step. But it's all a learning process. car. All of our spray foam insulation goes in. Everything's taped off. All the wires are down. We have the windows taped off that we're not insulating, and all of the windows kind of taken care of, making sure they're leak proof for the ones that we are insulating. And I'm getting out of here because we only have one protective suit and one respirator. So Ron's on his own for this one. Is done, but it's not very even. We need to cut a lot of it down to make it a flush surface. So we are trying out different tools right now to see what will work. Ron is using a machete right now. We bought a heat knife, which is supposed to just cut through it really easily. That did not work. So pass on that. We bought this bandsaw blade, which didn't work as well as we thought it was going to. I tried my bread knife, which works pretty well. This putty knife works pretty well for the ribs. And then I bought this new tool from Home Depot, which has a little bit of flexibility to it. So I'm gonna see how that works. We're gonna see if we can't make this nice and beautiful.